So our engagement approach at Schroders is about two different things. It's about making better investment decisions for our clients, and it's about effecting change with companies. So getting companies to change their practices to make them a better long-term sustainable investment. And we do this by looking at how much we hold of companies, so judging the materiality of what our holding is in a company, seeing what issues are with a company. Is it a company in a high impact polluting sector? Is it a company that has had a big controversy? Is there an upcoming AGM? And we take all these factors and then we select which companies we're going to engage with. We're not excluding any sectors. We don't have an exclusionary approach as such. So we're applying this ESG framework to all of our investments across different desks, across Schroders globally. So engagement takes its form in lots of different ways. We will meet with companies, we'll speak to them on the phone. It's also at different levels within a company. So from CEO level, sometimes with the chairman. But what we also find useful is talking to practitioners. So for example, I cover the mining sector, and I found it very useful a few weeks ago to talk to somebody that was actually working in the mine and engaging with local communities to try and understand what their concerns were. And as investors, that's very helpful because we now know if that mine is facing conflict with its local community and whether that mine might close down and therefore have an impact on earnings, share price. I think questions that are too nitpicky, questions that are too complicated, can sometimes put companies off answering them. So you have to phrase your questions in the right way, you have to make sure they're material to companies, you don't want to overcomplicate what you're asking, and I think most importantly, you want to ask a question that is an achievable, realistic ask for the company. You don't want to ask it something that is going to be impossible to put into place. So one of the companies that we've been talking to is Carnival. Carnival was the company that owned the Costa Concordia cruise ship, which a few years ago had a horrific accident. And since then, our questions to the company have focused on safety management, effective governance, and what we found from talking to the board is we've really understood the culture that was behind Carnival and how that has changed since the incident. And we're hoping through those discussions that we have better insights into how a company will manage this kind of incident going forward, and ideally not have these incidents at all. So a lot of our engagement over the past year has been with mining companies and how they're managing tailings waste. And this came off the back of a huge disaster that happened in November last year, where a mine in Brazil had been collecting its tailings waste on the top of a valley, and the tailings dam burst and sending all the tailings and waste from the mines into the valley down below, causing whole village to be wiped out, fatalities, etc. So we've been talking to other mining companies about how they're managing their tailings waste, whether they've conducted reviews of how those tailings systems are governed, whether they've looked at the processes behind management of tailings waste. And we've also had very, very detailed engagement across Schroders, so Schroders Australian desks, Schroders credit desks, with the companies involved in this incident. It was BHP Billiton, Vale, and the actual structure Samarco, which was a joint venture that operated that dam.